Good evening, everybody. It's Waity Lightheart from the Prosperity Health Alliance. I'm joined by my compadres, and I'm using that because these guys are all around the world, so we thought we'd throw in a little Spanish tonight. Bottom line, I'm here with Siha Top, Creel Hutchinson, the Three Horsemen, the Three Amigos, I don't know, Three Stooges, whatever you want to call us, but all three of us are here for the first time in about 6 weeks. Both of the guys have been on the road, growing, building teams, hitting ranks, helping the teams hit ranks. Things are blowing up in the Prosperity and Health Alliance. And if you haven't been participating, it's really you haven't been plugging in, because plugging in when you're strong is important. Plugging in when you're wavering off is even more important. And you just got to get plugged in. You know, just keep showing up. Keep going until that itch becomes a scratch, that scratch becomes a burn, the burn becomes a fire, and then you just explode. And so guys, thank you for joining us tonight. You want to talk a little bit, before we get into the main meat and potatoes of the webinar, which we're going to talk about with best practices in Enagic. Can you share a little bit about what's been going on the last 6 weeks? I mean, I've been hardly seeing you guys. You got tans, and you got smiles, and you got a lot of air miles. What's happening?
Creel, I'll go since you got the cup in your hand. Oh, wow. I was supposed to be, I thought I would be doing this presentation and this webinar in Canada. I was just across the border helping some teammates with a few machines and a few Econ orders to set up. And I made it right back. I went in and came back out. The lifestyle has been just like you're saying, on the go. If we're not doing presentations, we're teaching. If we're not teaching, we're setting up machines. If we're not setting up machines, you know, we're having lunch. If we're not having lunch, we're doing something on the beach or on the mountain somewhere. And it's, you know, they say don't, you know, we try to keep work out of our private lives. This isn't work. This is a pleasure, how we can combine the two together. And then with everywhere we go, we have friends and family. Creel and I, just 3 weeks ago, I think, time flies. We were in Hawaii together. And there again, was that work for me or was that play? It was, I couldn't tell. And then, you know, I land, my family's there, they've got water for me, they've got flowers, they've got, you know, it's just perfect. And then a couple days later, I hook up with Creel. You know, we have to go to events to see each other. How fun is that? And what a time we had there in Hawaii, just getting all plugged in. But I wanted to just remind people, you know what? Little consistencies in what we do every day in our business and in our personal lives, it adds to more success. And just getting around the people that vibrate the same energy and resonate the same, that they're in the same alignment as you are, which way you're going, it just moves your business forward. It moves my life forward. I am progressing every single day, and I see my friends and my family who are on the same path here doing the same thing. And we're just having a blast doing it at the same time. We're breaking records. We're learning how other people are breaking records. You know, we were just in Hawaii. We met somebody. I thought somebody went 6A in a month, and I shared that a while back. But Creel and I were there, and we found out it wasn't a month, guys. The gentleman broke 6A in 2 days. 2 days he broke 6A, and it took Enagic 5 days to process all those orders. So that's what I love about this lifestyle. I'm always learning. There's always somebody setting a record, you know, whether it's our team or somebody else's team. And the only way we're going to learn, the only way we're going to get to know this business better, know how to do it better, is to get plugged in. Right, Creel?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Siha. You know, I'll let everybody know kind of the strategy that I put in play to get there. And we talked about this a while ago, was, you know, I'm looking at hitting a big rank and getting weighed up to a new big rank. And so literally at the beginning of the year, we're planning our schedule out. We're like, where are we going to travel? Which teammates are we going to work with? Where does this strategically make sense in our business? And I was so stoked when, you know, it lined up that Siha and I were like, hey, we got to go to Hawaii and make that happen. So, you know, it's always awesome to hang out with you, Siha.
Yeah. What did you think of that training? What did you think of that training, real quick, that they did at a spree? You know, where it brought all different types of people together, and you didn't know what to expect. And that spree training is going all over the country. This was my second one, but I wanted to hear from you.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think anytime you get outside of your comfort zone, you grow your business. And so whether that's going to a corporate held event or that's going to a distributor held event, I'm a big believer, just go to events. It's the fastest way to grow your business. It's the fastest way to learn. And I think what the key is, it's one thing what you learn inside the room, but it's another thing what you learn outside of the room. And what I mean by that is meeting people that you wouldn't otherwise have met. So, for example, we got taken out by, the Enagic office staff in Hawaii. I got to meet all the 6As there. I got to meet this guy that went 6A in 2 days. And I just had questions. How did you do it? What, and I started to learn and evolve, grow my business. So I get these nuggets from the road that I can bring them home and share them with my team. And so, I really encourage people, you got to sometimes step out of your day-to-day comfort zone. And for me, I did 2 things in the last 5 weeks on the road. One was I felt like I needed to expand who I was talking to, so I did some new things. I went and did some vending down in California at a couple of events that I thought would be good. Did a couple private demos for some leaders I had there. And then I went to Hawaii, worked with a team that I have a leader there that I'm trying to get to the next rank so that we all move up the next rank. And then I did a meditation trip for 10 days. So it's like lifestyle, working, being on the road. 5.5 years ago when I looked at this project, I saw something, and I saw that there was a great lifestyle because you could promote water wherever you went, you could give it away for free, and everybody's got a relationship with it. And I realized, hey, the future is going to be, as many people have already said it, the blue gold. And when I'm on the road talking to different people and seeing the impact that Enagic has in people's lives, both from the product and the business side, I sit back and I'm like, I think we're just beginning. I really think in the next 5 to 7 years is when we have the tipping point and this thing really explodes. But the reality is, 20 years from now, which business will you look back on and be like, hey, I wish I had gotten into water, because 20 years from now, it's going to be, a totally different world we live in. So seeing that and being on the road and realizing, wow, I'm so fortunate, and I get to hang out with people like Siha and Wade and all the Aloha team, which are so great. Makes me feel really blessed. So I'm home, excited, and ready to rock and roll all the way to convention, which is the next big opportunity for everybody to get out of your comfort zone, go meet with some leaders, learn, and get inspired.
That's awesome. We can't hear you, Wade.
I muted myself out. Speaking of convention, guys, that's coming up on July 26th, 27th. I don't care what you need to do. You got to be there. Big events, big decisions, and there's a social, there's something drops inside of you when you get in a room and you see thousands of distributors and you see 6A after 6A after 6A going across the stage, and you hear the stories and you meet with the people making, hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars inside the business, and you literally talk to them and find out what you did. And you know what you find out? Here's what you find out. They're not different than you. They're not smarter than you. They're not better than you. They didn't have some great break or whatever the story is that might you think that's holding you back that you don't have, or what you might need. It doesn't exist. It's not there. And you realize it, you go, this guy just made $1 million this year? This girl's making up. Whoa. I can do this. I can do this. Wow. So anyways, speaking of I can do this, so thanks, guys. It's always great to be working with you, and I feel really delighted and blessed to have you guys on my team. I know you guys, you work smart, you work hard, but you have a lot of fun along the way, and I think that's part of the thing, enjoying the journey, and there's really no place that you can do this. But let's change gears a little bit, because I want to talk about something tonight that's really, really important to understand in the world that we're living today. And to give you a little bit of background to this, I've been building an online business. I've been on the online platform for the last 12 years. And in that 12 years, I've seen a lot of things come and go online in the internet marketing world, which translates into our world. So what people were saying and making claims about 12 years ago on Google and Facebook, gone. And social media and other marketing platforms, not allowed anymore. What people were saying in the financial industry, not the same anymore. We're not saying those things anymore. It's not allowable. There's a thing called the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, that blocks things. And it's tightening up more and more, and they're getting clear code. Now, here's the situation. Enagic is growing at an exponential rate. It is exploding. And the bigger a company gets, the more scrutiny they get. Now, the other thing is there's more distributors. Our team is expanding at an extraordinarily rapid rate. You have to understand this. So what that means is that for each and every one of us and for our team members, we need to have what I call a best practices. We want to incorporate that we're representing the product in an honest and ethical way. We are presenting the business in an accurate way. We are not making medical claims or things that are going to get us into trouble because, frankly, Siha, you don't do this. Creel, you don't do this. I don't do this. We all have very successful businesses. So remember, hype is something that was cool on a 1987 infomercial. It's not cool in today's world. People are smart. People are sharp. And if you don't follow those practices, you can find out that you're out of Enagic. And we don't want that to happen. So without any further ado, I'm going to slip over here to the PowerPoint guys and turn it on. And then at the end, we're going to take your questions both on this webinar or anything about the Enagic business. Feel free to ask all of us. We're going to stick around and field those questions because we really want to help you and we want to make sure that we encourage you to come out to the event. So I'm just going to click over here to my full screen, guys. So we can just hang on one quick second. Here we go. Rock and roll. So today's webinar, today's talk is going to be called Promoting Your Business with Integrity. Best Practices for Enagic Distributors. Of course, we're the ProsperityHealthAlliance.com. You want to make sure that everybody on your team is getting on there and getting the emails. It's growing every day. It's the automated training system. It's totally awesome. A to B, 1, 2, 3. You got it. So let's talk about Mr. Oshiro's vision. So Mr. Oshiro, of course, everyone knows their president. He started out over 40 years ago selling these water machines out of the back of his car in his one little tiny apartment in Tokyo, and he's built himself a billion-dollar brand. Pretty impressive. And we can learn a lot of things. And the very first presentation I saw with him, this is like literally when I started the business. It was the one-year anniversary in Vancouver, and Mr. Oshiro came up, and the meeting was in Japanese, with translated in broken English. But I saw this guy get up there, and he drew these 3 circles: physical health, financial health, and emotional health. And here's what we do. The water helps people, obtain or realize physical health. When we share it with other people, it improves their finances. So if they do that enough, they get financial health. And if you have physical health and financial health, you have emotional health. And this is a very kind of Eastern philosophy, but it's applicable more than ever today. I mean, isn't it more applicable? I mean, is it okay to have money without health? Or, maybe you're healthy, but you don't have enough money. I mean, are you sleeping well at night? And if you have both, does it make it easier? It certainly does. Not a guarantee. Guys, can you mute your phones? Thanks. So let's talk about the rules of engagement. Rules of engagement are real simple. Number 1, we make no medical claims. Listen, let's be clear about something. Making a medical claim is illegal. It's against the law. You're violating the law. You can't say this cures any illnesses or treats any symptom or any of that stuff. Can't do it. It's illegal. Don't do it. You get yourself in a lot of trouble. And you also set up expectations. And the old saying, the road to hell is paved with expectations, right? So turn your expectation into appreciation, and what happens? Magic. That's what happens. So expectations to appreciation. So appreciate the benefits of the water, and to say, hey, someone comes to you with a medical condition. Well, will it treat this or do this? Well, I don't know. But I'll tell you what. Why don't we get you on the water and let's see? That's it. Well, why don't we get you on the water and let's see? Let's put one of these in your house and let's try it out. I don't know. And you get so much more credibility there because you're opening the question. And if they come back, well, our doctor say, hey, look, what have you got to lose? Again, it comes back with the quality of your questions. Talk about that in another one of the webinars, right? By the way, all the webinars are on YouTube. You go to Prosperity Health Alliance, click on the YouTube icon, and you can access any one of these webinars, including this one will be up sometime this week. So I'm just going to close my window because I can hear the police driving down the street chasing somebody who's not on the water. Anyways, no check waving. Listen, you do not need to make a whole bunch of waving on your checks and all this sort of stuff. Not a good idea. The bottom line is, if you're making like income claims, this type of stuff, waving checks around, this can get you in trouble. It's kind of tacky. Yes, it's effective for some people, but you know what? Integrous, solid business people, you don't need to do that. If you present the information, if you present the benefits the way you want, you can do this without any of that stuff, and you come off really well. The other thing is, no income or health guarantees. Again, you can't say, well, we're going to guarantee that you make this much a month for the rest of your life. Can't say that. You cannot say that. You can say, well, here's what the compensation program is, and here's what goes on, and here's the benefits, or here's the bonuses, and I encourage you to learn that and to watch the videos that we have, because that will help you clarify what's great and what's not great, okay? The other thing is medical testimonials. This is a thing the FTC calls leading. So if you're leading someone with an income claim or a health technology claim saying, oh, you know, this cured my arthritis or this cured this, no, we don't know that. You can say this, you know, I used to have this, I used to have that, and I started drinking the water and it went away. I don't know why. But you can only use your own story. You can't use other people's story, okay? Because that's, you're not first person, so it's only first person. Next thing, no outrageous promises. Look, you know, setting a person up and say, hey, you can go 6A, and like I know guys are saying that there's a guy that went 6A in 2 days, which is amazing, but that's not the case for most people. The reality is, for most people, you're looking at 12 to 24 months if they're working the business hard, you know, to get to 6A. That's if they're working hard. If they're not, you're looking at maybe 18 months to 3 years, you know, if they're following a process. And then beyond that, then, you know, they start to get traction in the business and go on there. So the reality is, you don't make outrageous promises. Don't say that person's going to make a pile of money at such and such a time, whatever, because you don't know if they're going to do that. And the other thing is, what might be outrageous for you might not be outrageous for someone else. So just be clean and clear about that. And another one I want to talk about is no bashing competitors. Listen, you know, bashing competitors and slamming other things and all that sort of stuff, it's a dicey game, because everybody's saying that their machine is the best. And say, well, it's real simple. You go, well, by the way, if you go online, you'll notice that everybody is comparing themselves to you. What do you think that means? And let the person come to their own conclusion. You don't have to, and they could say, well, this guy said his best. Well, I don't know. I'll let you decide. Here's the plates in our machine. Here's the plates in your machine. What do you think? Again, let your prospect come to the conclusion. So rather than telling or bashing, turn into asking questions. Get good at asking questions to lead the people to come to the conclusions you want. Because when you ask a question, it hooks their mind. And that's a big difference between telling isn't selling, but asking questions. You're in control of how things go. And you don't have to make all these things, okay? I don't make any of those statements. I have a wonderfully successful business, and the same for Creel, and same for Siha, and the same for, you know, literally, you know, dozens and dozens and dozens of our top income producers. Here's some more rules of engagement. Look, here's the things that we do. Promote the 3 major benefits. Hey, look, the water's good for you, it's good for the environment, it's good for your finances. That's it. The water's good for you, good for the environment, good for your finances. What part don't you like? Which one's more important to you? And then zero in on this. You can say, hey, you know, the water's really good for you, it's good for the environment, it's good for your finances. I'll show you why in a minute, but which one of those is more important for you? Is it your health? Are you concerned about the environment? Or do you need to make a little bit more money? Right? The other thing is instead of worrying about the cost, build up the value of the machine. Our machines run between $1,500 and $6,000, okay? Now recognize that when a person first hears that, that seems like a lot of money because they're focused on the cost. They don't understand the value. They don't understand the company. They don't know the benefits of owning a machine outside the health benefits, the environmental benefits, the tax incentives, the long-term effects, all of these things. Anytime, by the way, you're referring to tax incentives, do you have a professional referral ready with an accountant that you use? I think that's really great. Say, hey, look, I was able to save a lot of money in taxes. In fact, it costs more money. One of the things I say, it costs more money not to own the machine than it does to own it. And by the way, here's the name of my accountant. He'll hook you up and he'll explain to you exactly. That's great. That's real stuff. And say, look, I'm not a tax expert, but I can share with you one that is, and this is the money that I saved. And doesn't it make sense? If you can save more money, by owning this machine than it does to purchase it, doesn't it make a lot of sense to own one? You see how I'm not saying anything, right? I'm not making a claim. I'm just saying, I'm asking them a question so that they go, yeah. And then when they say it, it registers in their biochemistry more, okay? The other thing is you need to promote the benefits of our company as opposed to bashing competitors. Listen, here's what we are and what they're not. We're an original equipment manufacturer with points of sales and service and distribution around the globe. We've been around 42 years. I'm part of an online training system here at the Prosperity Health Alliance that allows you to go at your own pace with incredible income potential. It allows you to set your own areas, hours. It allows you to work part-time, full-time, or big time. Think about that. That's amazing. That is an amazing thing. I mean, where else are you going to get an opportunity like that? By the way, and we're in the #1 commodity in the world, water. Amazing. Let's talk about this now. Rules of engagement. Let's talk about this. Promoting the business versus promoting the health. Don't get me wrong. When I first started this business, I promoted the health like crazy. But I can tell you what, if you start promoting the business, you're going to have more success. And I see a lot of people that just do one or the other. Do both. But if you had to lean towards one, promote the business. And here's why. More people will spend a lot more money getting involved in a business than they will in buying your health. That's just the facts. And guess what? They're going to get the health anyways. So that's a big, huge thing. So if you're not promoting the business, start promoting the business. Start promoting the compensation program. Start promoting that because your business is going to take off because of it. The other thing is, be benefit-driven, not feature-driven. I can't tell you how many posters, I just saw one today, how many promotional and everything. Hey, find out the benefits of restructured alkaline ionized water. What the hell is that? Nobody talks like that. I mean, there's a few scientific people, right, that talk like that. But that's not what makes a person. You know what happens when people, that happens? They think, oh, God, that reminds me of grade 10 chemistry class. I don't want anything to do with that. Your brain just goes back into that time of that pain. Now, there's a small percentage of people, the scientifically driven stuff, and guess what? You're going to need 500 periodicals, peer-reviewed generations. They're going to have to see 35 demos. They're going to get the opinion of 52 experts. It's going to take you a long time. Those people typically don't build a business. And I see so many people trying to get like gung-ho crazy on the technical side of it. And I was one of those guys. You know, I learned ionization inside out. Now, I don't even talk about that stuff. Why? It's good for your health. It's good for the environment. It's good for your finances. Which one's important to you? See, simple, easy languaging that people can understand. That is what's going to allow you to build your business. Okay? So let's talk about this. I don't know how to do this, Wade. I just got started. You know, how do I promote the business when I don't even know how the business works? I didn't know how the business worked my first year. I sent people promoting the health. What I didn't know is they were promoting the business. So it turned out really well for me, and then later on, I learned the business. So anyways, use the compensation videos. Use the business demos. Use three-way calls and events. Get leverage through social proof. It doesn't matter if you're just getting started. It doesn't matter if you've been doing this for 2 years and have no sales. It doesn't matter if you don't know anything about the water, anything about the business. You just need to work with one of your upline support to help you get on this. So literally, I talk to, probably a dozen people every week in regards to the business. Now, how does that happen? I do most of it right here from my computer, or I have people come to my house, or I go and meet them at a coffee shop. That's it. At this stage of my business, I just help my team members, and I'm always working on some new distributors and working on building their business. You got to do a little bit of both as your business gets larger. So, and today, for example, I had two people. I had a call at 1. I had a meeting at 1, a meeting at 2, and a meeting at 3. And the meeting at 1, the person was signing up for the machine, and then the next person, 2 people came in, and then we were getting them signed up on the machine, and then I was on the third call where we were working with another new prospect. So it literally was running one into the other. I didn't even have time for the other people to say goodbye. But what I did is when I couldn't go any further, I said, here, check out this video, and then here's the business demo to explain to the other people. I sent them a link. We got those ones on the Prosperity Health Alliance. You see what I mean? I was leveraging the digital technology once I found out what their hot buttons were, and I'll talk about that in a minute. The other thing is tell stories that allow your prospect to come to the conclusion you want. Tell stories about lifestyle if lifestyle is important. Tell stories about how you were able to change things with the financial world, right? Or tell stories about how you had a friend without making big claims or anything like that. So I think, well, I have my friend Siha, and he was the #1 mortgage broker in the world, or excuse me, in Bellingham, I think the world, but it was in Bellingham. And then he got a hold of this business, and he understood the math and the numbers. And he said what he did in 20 years in that business, he could do in just a few years here. So I went and helped him do the business demonstration, and guess what? He did that and more. And he told me the other day he has a better life than he's ever had. In fact, he's going to be on the call Monday night. See how I did that? I didn't make any claims, but I used a story. And I'll show you how to qualify what story, right? Right? Or I'll tell a story. I said, hey, look, we want to do a lot of research, but guess what? We've got Dr. Horst Filzer, a Harvard vascular surgeon, who knows more about this kind of stuff than anybody on the planet, and he has endorsed it and said it's a benefit to all mankind. In fact, he came on as the medical officer for Enagic. He felt so compassionate about it. Do you think we're going to do any more research than a guy like that? That's it. No, we're not. It's not going to happen. The guy's a master, right? Let's leverage that. Leverage those stories, okay? Tell the story about Cynthia. There's a girl in our business, Cynthia Brigante, who came over here from the Philippines, and she was really struggling. She had all these terrible experiences, and she was making no money, and she had this sort of thing, and she got a hold of this business, and she took off with it, and now she's making an 8-figure, like she's making this incredible amount of money. She's on a webinar this week, or Tamia Kalan, or Danny D. McCauley, or all these people. Fantastic. So why do we do it this way? Because when you do it this way, when you do it the ethical way, it leads to long-term success and credibility. We don't want to be a fly-by-night company. I cannot tell you how many people that told me no, that told me I was crazy, that told me this didn't work, that told me that all these sort of things have come around and joined my business, or bought machines from me, or recommended people, or acknowledged me for staying on this for so long. Believe me, staying integrous for the long term always works out better than short-term hype. So that's why we do it this way. The other thing is that you notice the top brands in the world don't bash other companies because it usually backfires. You look bad. You don't need to attack. Other people are attacking us. We don't need to attack them. Just ask people, why do you think everybody's attacking us? Why do you think everybody is trying to take us down? Why do you think everybody is comparing their products against ours? Is Rolls-Royce comparing themselves against Toyotas? No. Because it's a Rolls-Royce. It doesn't have to. Toyota might have to, but not a Rolls-Royce. So when you have that in your mind, and then you just go back to asking questions. When people come at you with questions, ask a question back. And you got to train your brain for that. And that's the ethical way to do things, because you're really, when they're saying something, there's just a fear, there's just a lack of knowledge, there's just something that they don't understand. Okay, here's the thing. We got to protect the ship. Failure to do so can result in a FTC, that's Federal Trade Commission, violations that can get you kicked out of the business. And I know people who have been kicked out of the business for making outrageous claims. It can get your team kicked out of the business if you're teaching this and they start doing this. Or in the worst case scenario, it could close down Enagic. We don't want that to happen. It's not going to happen, but it's only not going to happen if you can't make special rules for yourself. You can't say, well, just this once I'm going to do that. Because there are hundreds of thousands of Enagic distributors around the world, and if they all said that, that's hundreds of thousands of messages going out, and eventually something bad will happen. So, and here's the thing. It's not necessary. It's just not necessary. What you need to do is increase your skills and your ability to ask the right question, and that's what we have these webinars for. We're here to help you do this. So let's go on here. So let me just explain to you a couple of things. And this is right out of Jordan Belfort's Straight Line Precision. Here's what has to happen for your prospect to buy an Enagic machine. Number one, they need to be a 10 out of 10 on you. They need to think that you are going to help them, that you are going to introduce them to the right people, that you are going to assist them with setting up the machine or building a business or explaining the technology. Our business is people. Right? Daniel D. McCauley says, you know, our business is people, our office is the world, and God is our boss. At the end of this is a people business. This is about you, and it's about becoming the best you can be. And believe me, this business is a self-development program with a compensation program, compensation system attached to it. The better that you become with being you, it's interesting. The more income that you make and the more fun that you have making it, and the less affected you are by other people. There's an amazing correlation. Next, the people need to be a 10 out of 10 on your product. They need to love the machine. They need to understand the benefits of the technology. They have to understand how not having this technology is going to kill this person. It's going to crush it. Like, believe me, when you get this business, when you get this water, when you really understand the benefits of this and are able to communicate that to somebody, they'll be a 10 out of 10. And when they go a 10 out of 10 on their product, now you've got two pieces of the combination lock. And finally, they need to be 10 out of 10 on the company. They need to know that Enagic is solid, that Enagic is going to stand behind their machines, that Enagic is going to service the machines, that they can get their filters, that we're not going away, that we have the best quality machines, that their checks are going to come out to them on time, all these sort of things. And we do all that stuff. We're a global-based company. We have points of sales and distribution all around the globe, right? We service our machines. We have the best machines in the business. We have all the credibility, the gold standards and the ISO 13485 medical device. We've got the top 10 athletes in the world, highest paid athletes in the world, all use our machine, and none of them are endorsed. They bought the machines themselves. When you have all three of these 10s, the only thing that is left is that you need to blow out their limiting buying belief. And believe me, people have a limited buying belief. They may have heard about MLM from 1965, and they think there's a bunch of soap sitting in a bag. They might have heard that they're not so sure about ionized water because Dr. Andrew Weil said that he didn't believe in it. Well, what Dr. Andrew Weil didn't say, it just didn't fit his business model. If you go to his restaurant, he serves soda water. I'm not bashing him, but the reality is he's serving soda water, so why, if he was to honor this technology, he'd have to change his own business model. Do not underestimate people's self-interest. Do not underestimate people's ignorance and how that ignorance can affect other people. So one of the great things that Eric Worre, who we advocate a lot of his training, of course his big event is coming in December, and he talks about we're looking at education and understanding. we are educating people so that they understand the product. And why we continue to educate them until they're a 10 out of 10 on you, a 10 out of 10 on our product, a 10 out of 10 on the company. When you have that, and then you find the limiting buying belief, and you keep going around this, loop, eventually they buy. Eventually they buy. And as you get better and better at this, you'll be able to close those loops tighter and tighter so that it moves faster. So let me talk about some questions that you ask. Here's how you do this honestly, ethically, and with integrity. Remember, telling isn't selling, okay? Telling everybody about the benefits and features, no, ask. Ask questions. Start your questions from a general standpoint and listen to each answer. And what I mean by that is, like, every time you're meeting, start with a few quick questions. Hey, Bob, how's it going? How's the family? All that sort of stuff. And then as you go through this, you can start. They're going to give you information, and this is going to allow you to kind of hit their hot buttons later. So this is called qualifying. And if you want to get really depth into that, straight line persuasion is one of the best. And also, Eric Worre does this, qualifying your prospect. Okay. The other thing is keep a notebook. Keep a notebook with the date and times and notes from the call. So I have right here at my desk, I have a nice moleskin. If you haven't written in a moleskin, I highly recommend it. The paper, you can spill water on it because I spill water on stuff, but it doesn't string. It's a beautiful writing instrument. And here I am. Here I got there's May 7th, right? Here's what I was talking to. There's a guy, the name of Joshy. Maybe he's on the call tonight. There's another one, Maureen, I was talking to, May 3rd. Here's another one, May 2nd, right? These are all the people I'm talking to, and I have the notes from that conversation. So when I call back, or when I follow up, or when I get to the end of the day and I realize I said I was going to do this, this, and this, then you do it. If you say you're going to do something, then go ahead and do it. And I'm going to open my window up a little bit here because it's getting hot in here. I'm getting so excited. Anyways, so this allows you to stay organized and to follow up. And then when you meet them again, guess what? You remember the questions and it jogs your mind. And then they go, wow, this, Bob, Siha really cares about me. He's following this. It's hard to remember all this stuff. The other thing is when I'm taking notes, when I'm talking to a person, they now, there's a thing that goes up and say, wow, this guy's really serious. He's a professional. He's making sure that he fills my needs. If you go to the doctor's office, what do? They write out a chart, right? They find out what your needs are. If you go to a lawyer's office, what do? They ask you questions and write down the answers. Why is that? Because they're professionals. We're professionals too, okay? So let's go this. The next thing is you follow through later with answers to their questions. No, you don't have to answer everything. If you get stumped on a question, say, I'm really glad you asked, Galen. Let me write that down. I've got something I want to do. Let's get through all the questions and let me go through those. That gives you a little bit of time, or maybe you have to bring in somebody else to help you. Maybe your upline, a new person, say, hey, you know what, I can't answer that right at the moment, but I wouldn't do you a service to get that. Let me get you on a call with, your upline, your sponsor, one of us, get you on the webinar, and then we can answer that question. Leverage that, introduce people. People love to be introduced to other people who they feel are authorities. People always love that. So don't feel, if you don't have the knowledge, that you can't do this. Okay? The other thing, you have a team behind you. Remember, leverage us. So the other thing is remember, you got to find out what they want, and you got to help them get there by building an airtight logical and emotional case. People buy on both logic and emotions. So the logic is it's good for the health. It's good for the environment. It's good for the finances. It costs more money not to own the technology than it does because of the business model and the tax incentives. Okay? It reduces the use of plastic bottles in the world. It provides a source of unlimited antioxidants. It hydrates your body 6 times faster. It will remove oil-based pesticides. It's an unlimited source of disinfectants that you can eliminate your cleaners. I mean, the benefits. Unbelievable benefits. And by the way, you can make an income with it part-time. You can just give us a referral. You get a check, right? This is amazing. Okay? Then it's the emotions, right? When you find out what's their reasons, what's their family. Do they care about their family? Are they worried about their health? Are they worried about their finances? These are emotional things, right? Well, what if this worked? You know, and based on what they tell you in that first part, in the general side, then when you're building your logical and emotional case, you get both of them until they're agreeing and going, you know, you're right. I never really thought of it that way, but now that you put it that way, I really understand this. Remember, it's educating and understanding. Now, here's the 4 questions that I asked. Now, I'm going to tell you, I was not comfortable doing this early on, and I'm going to be frank, it was the dumbest thing ever in my business. Number 1, I didn't know these questions. Number 2, I didn't ask questions around the business. And number 3, you know, it just took me a long time to get there. And I'm going to share these 4 questions. These 4 questions will change your life. These 4 questions will change your prospects, how they think of you. These 4 questions will help you grow your business at a rate you never dreamed of before. These 4 questions will get you laser focused on how to fill the needs of your prospect. And if you fill the needs of your prospect, what's going to happen is you are just going to just build a business, and the clarity of your communication, the clarity of what you're doing is not only going to translate into your business, your direct business, but also into the business of your distributors. So here's how this works. 4 questions. That was 5. 4 questions. Question number 1. Bob, how much money do you need to make per month to make this worth your while? You know, let's get right to the chase. And I go to these questions like 10 minutes after I've talked to them. I do the little bit of small talk, find out a little stuff, and I'm saying, okay, Bob, let me ask you a question. How much time do you need to make, how much money do you need to make per month to make this worth your while? Just offhand ballpark. What comes to mind? The guy says, you know, $3K. Okay, great. Okay, Bob, like, just offhand, how much time are you willing to invest on a weekly basis to make this kind of money? The guy's like, I got 20 hours a week. Okay, great. And then the guy says, then you say to the person, well, how much money, or excuse me, how many months or years are you willing to work to make this kind of money? Just ballpark. And the guy's like, I don't know, a couple years. If I could add $3,000 a month, maybe they say 1,000, maybe they say 5,000. Now, then here comes where you tie this all in and you're leveraging their own words. And believe me, this is powerful. And you say, Bob, look, if I could show you a way to make $3,000 a month working 20 hours a week, and you can do this in the next 2 years, would you be interested in setting up a time to go over the program, or would you be interested in going through the process, or watching a video, or getting on a 3-way call, or a Skype call, or a business webinar? Would you be interested? If I could show you a way to make $3K per month, working 20 hours a week over the next 2 years, what's he going to say? Of course he's going to say yes. He just told you that he's going to make $3,000, he needs $3,000, he's willing to work 20 hours a week, and he's willing to do this for 2 years. And what you need to do, if you don't know how to do this, you say, you know what, Bob? Tell you what, I got a guy in this business that is showing me how to do what I want to do, and I'm sure he can show you how to do this. Would you like to get on a call with them? Would you like to get on a webinar? Would you like to meet at the coffee shop this week, and then give them some times and set it up? I have a Book Wade calendar that I do. People that are working in my organization, they have a meetme.so/bookwade. It's on the bottom of my emails. I do that for training calls for all of us people in our company, and I also do it for closing calls for people who want to look at the business. And I'll tell you what, it's working great. I'm working from my laptop, and it's awesome. And it can be awesome for you too. So these 4 questions are amazing. And when you do this and you listen instead of telling, boy, your business will explode. Now let's look at this. I call this the countdown to the close, and then we'll get ready for questions here in a minute. Look, use the information you've gathered from your questions and in your notes and feed it back to them. What you've got to learn to be able to is use the emotional framing technique of painting the picture of them experiencing it. You know, Bob, when you have this machine sitting in your home, and you know that your whole family, your kids and your wife, they're getting unlimited antioxidants, that they're getting hydrated, it's the number one thing, aren't you going to feel amazing? And I got to say, aren't you going to feel awesome when you know that just by owning it, the tax incentives alone is going to offset the entire purchase of the machine? So not only is your family going to love you for having this, not only are they going to be healthy, It's going to be paid from the tax incentives. You're going to enjoy all these health benefits. You're going to enjoy getting these things. You get chemicals out of your life. You know, this is amazing. And you know what also, Bob? You're going to feel good because you're not going to be contributing to the environmental disaster. We agree. I mean, 40 million plastic bottles a day going in landfills. Have you seen the trash vortexes? Doesn't it feel good that you're not participating in that you're leaving something for your kids and your grandkids? Don't you think that we need to take things and you're going to feel good about that, right? Maybe they're into team. Wouldn't it be great to belong to part of something that's a movement? We've got the Prosperity and Health Alliance that's associated with Enagic. We've got an online distributing. We've got events that we're coming out to. We've got an amazing lifestyle that people are building. And the financial potential of this, in case something happened in your world, it's incredible. What an extra insurance. What can an extra $500 a month do in your life? Wouldn't that make a difference? Imagine what that would be like if we were able to achieve those goals. Imagine what your life would be like if you had an extra $3,000 a month coming in every month in the next couple of years. What would that be like? Can you imagine what that would be like? Feel pretty good, and they get in that place. Well, it's not going to happen if we don't. Let's get you started, right? Now, here's some things. This is going to blow you away. You got to go beyond the no. 44% of people give up after no, salespeople. So asking for a sale, 44% of the population are going to quit at the first no. They're going to quit. You're going to not ask again. 22% are going to quit after the second no. So first no, then second. 66% of the salespeople out there in the world today, sales is the highest paid profession in the world. 66% quit, almost half after the first one. 66%, 2/3 quit after the second no. 14% give up after the third no. So we're talking 70, we're talking a lot of people. We're talking 80% of the people. 4 out of 5 people give up after that third no. And guess what? Another 12% give up after 4 no. So 92% of people, 92% of salespeople give up without asking for the sale the 5th time. And guess what? 60% of your customers say no 4 times before they say yes. 60%. Want to increase your sales by 60%? Go back to everybody that says no and ask them for the sale 4 more times. 5 times. So you got to understand, you got to get to no and you've got to embrace the no, because no gets you closer to your total. You need 5 no's to get a yes. 5 no's to get a yes. Think about that. So when you hear the no, you reframe in the mind, that's great, I got my first no. That little reframe can change everything in your life. That little reframe can increase your sales by 60%. That little reframe can get the water machine into somebody's home where it's going to change their financial picture, where it's going to change their health picture, where it's going to change their family picture, their emotional picture. That those no's are going to change the environment. Those no's are going to change the future of your children, of your children's children, of kids that you don't know from now. Those no's are going to help you pay for that mortgage. Those no's are going to help you put your kids in school. You know, those no's are going to allow you to take your love of your life to the restaurants that you want to experience, or go to Disneyland to some of the things, or go on that trip that you always want, or take care of your family. You got to reframe the no. No just means that's one step closer to yes. 60% of the customers say no 4 times. So you need to reframe this. Take this slide, print it on your head. Take a picture of it right now. Take a picture of this and pin it up on your wall. Write it down. Repeat this. Calculate how many no's that you got on your way to yes. Keep bringing it around, looping. You don't have to be pushy. You just have to care enough about that person. You have to care enough to go through the education. You have to care enough to go through that to get where you want to go, because at the end of the day, How many people would give up their water machine? How many people have been drinking this water machine and said, you know what? Take it. I don't need it anymore. Nobody. Everybody loves their machine. Nobody is saying 5 years after the purchase, oh, you know, I spent $5,000 on that. That wasn't worth it. Nobody says that. What do they say? You know what? That was a darn good purchase. Man, I'm still drinking water out of this machine. I haven't used a plastic bottle in 5 years. I figured it out the other day. That saved me $10,000. What a great deal. What a great deal. Go for no. How do you do that? It comes down to this, folks. We talked about this in one of the first videos. Simon Sinek's video on why we do what we do. How big is your why? How big is your why? Really? How big is it? What is your why? Maybe it's a little wide, but it's emotionally big. Maybe you just want to drive the car that you want. Maybe you want to have the restaurant meal you want. Maybe you want to one day buy those shoes that you really, really loved that were too expensive, but you just wanted it because you could. Maybe you wanted to contribute more money to your church. Maybe you wanted to go on that vacation with your family or your loved one that you wanted. Maybe you wanted to do something nice for your parents. Maybe you wanted to change the world. It doesn't matter what your why is. And when I say how big is your why, I'm not saying on how big or how much money or that is. That's a wonderful thing. But it's what evokes the emotion. It's the big emotion, the emotion. The energy in motion is what's going to allow you to get to that level that the emotional why, the reason that you're getting up in the morning and doing those things. What is it? Is it your family? Is it your dreams? Right? Is it your finances? Is it for your health? Is it for the connection? Is it for the social influence? Is it for the social experience? Is it for just being a good person? Is it doing it for the environment? Whatever that is, that why, you have got to be clear on that, because that why is going to allow you to go through those 4 no's and get you to that yes, and that yes is going to get you closer to your dreams, and that yes is going to help other people, and that yes is going to turn everything on in your life. And by doing that, you become part of the elite. You become part of the people that said yes. Because you know what? We're all here because someone way back in thousands of years ago said, you know what? Yes, I'm going across that mountain. Yes, I'm going across that ocean that we don't know if we're going to make it. Yes, I'm going to start that business. Yes, I'm going to marry that woman or marry that man. Yes, I'm going to have those kids and put my life at risk. Yes, I'm going to work extra hard to support my family. It's the yes that makes everything happen in the world. And you get to yes by your ability to handle no, and that comes from your why. Every person you talk to gets you closer to your dreams, your goals, and your vision for your life. Every person you talk to gets you closer to your dreams, your goals, and your vision for your life. Think about that. That's all that's holding you back. Every person you talk to knows people this business opportunity is right for. So when you get the no, say, hey, by the way, who do you know that might be interested in doing this project or needs to know that? Most people will tell you somebody. And then you go to that person, and then after you get someone that says yes, you come back and say, hey, Bob is going to say yes. You're going to miss out on some income. Would you like to say yes? And then they go, well, how does that work? And then you show the program, and you show the program, and you show the program, and you get what's called staggering, and all of a sudden, instead of making 1 sale, you end up making 5. I've seen this over and over. Danny DeMacaulay talks about, you talk to people, you anchor it deep, you go down until you find that hot potato. You find that person with a vision, a dream, with a fire in their eyes, a fire in their belly that's ready to do something, and then you anchor all the way up to the rest of the team. Okay? You got to think ahead. You got to think long term. You got to look at the big picture and understand that every person you talk to gets you closer to that. Okay? Believe me, this works. Remember, every yes could turn into thousands of dollars for years to come. Every yes. I had my worst demo of all time was to see Hot Top, a 20-minute demo in the back office at a time that I didn't want to do it. I had no idea that that was going to translate into the amount of money and the amount of friendships, the amount of experiences that it did. Creel looked at this business for months and months and months and months and months and months before he got started. And after he got started, I think he needed 4 more months before he even turned his first sale. How much? How was it? Was it worth going through all those no's? Was it worth it? Believe me, it was worth it. Your Creel, your CHA is just behind a couple of no's. It's just behind it. That's all. How many people you got to talk to? It's like flipping cards in a deck. You know that there's 4 aces in there. You might flip 4 aces right off the bat. That happens to some people. You might flip all those cards, but if you keep flipping, you'll get there. So the question is, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I don't know what you're waiting for. Guys, let's get you back on the call. We're going to go to some answers and questions. You know, one of the things I love doing this business, and I love everybody on this team, and I'm always so excited to share the calls, you know, on Monday nights. I get all fired up. I start thinking about the things I want to talk about, and I know the guys do too, and we just love you guys, and we really want to help, and we really know that it's worth it. You see, we didn't know if this was going to work when we started. We didn't know that it was all going to work. We didn't have all the technology, all the dreams, all that stuff, but here's what we did. We took a chance and we worked it, and now we know. Now we know. For like, there's nothing that can shake my belief in this, or Creels or CHAs. So the thing is you will get there too, and we want to lock hands with you and get that going. Guys, let's go to some questions. If you have any comments on that, please feel free to jump in.
Let's go to questions. I'm good with questions. Then we'll come back in after questions.
All right. So what do we got for questions? We got any questions? Are we all good? No questions? Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay. Well, then,
do you guys see any questions? If you guys want to put in questions, over on the right-hand side is the questions box that will allow you to see right over here. There's a question box. You can answer the questions on your right-hand side, and that'll get you to where you need to go.
I want to thank, while the questions are coming, I want to thank Wade for just being the best friend, the best coach, the best inspirer. I was getting inspired just listening to you speak. And just, you know, getting realigned again with your energy and what we stand for. And I feel the same way when I'm with Creel, when we're traveling together, when we're speaking on the phone. You guys just bring it all back into me, bring it all back in alignment for me. And I believe that, you know, by doing these webinars on the Mondays, we're doing the same for the teams, because that's what they're saying. That's what I'm hearing out there in the field, you know. We are doing something that we can be ethical about and that can be sustainable, you know, for all of us. It's an opportunity it's a win-win opportunity for all of us. And that's what I love so much about this project. You know, we all come from different backgrounds, different abilities, and we're all successful in our own way. So I want to thank you guys, my friends and my mentors and my coaches. You guys get me realigned up, and I thank you for that. You know, being out there and working with our teams, I have to keep reminding them, you know, stay focused around your goals, like what Wade was saying. Here is your big why. Again, because a lot of people are going to, you know, they're going to try to pull you down. They're going to try to be naysayers. They're going to try to be dead weight, and you just have to fight through that. That's just as, you know, that's just like going through the 40 no's or the many no's to get to the yeses. That's part of building your stamina and building your strength in your business and your success, is to just fight through that as well. So stay focused on your GPS and your success. Stay focused on your goals and your dreams, which is the big why Wade talked about. Get plugged in. So many times I sound like a broken record. It's not. It's the simplest things. It's the fundamentals in our business, and that's the 1, 2, 3 system. What are you doing, and what are you teaching your teams to do? Are you doing it? Are you leading by example? How do you expect your teams to do what you do, or what you want them to do, if you're not doing it? So we talk about systems, we talk about duplication, we talk about our why, we talk about none of that works unless you're doing it as well. So I want to remind everybody, you know, teach the 1, 2, 3 system with our Prosperity and Health Alliance. Start there. That's just a very important tool to our success. It's just a tool. It's a great beginning. And it doesn't matter where you are in this business, first day, 8 years in, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what rank you're in. It doesn't matter what knowledge you're in. And for me, I find it helpful because it allows me to see if you're committed to learning, because I am, and I had to go through it. Wade and Creel and the rest of the leaders had to go through it so that we knew what to teach our team. So remind everybody the 1, 2, 3 system and how to get plugged in. Eric Worre and Wade and Creel, we were talking about going to events and how important events are. Again, you know, when we do these presentations, when we do these webinars, it's for everybody, but it's really for the people when I'm talking about presentations, it's for the newbies. It's for people that haven't seen it. You know, you can come and come and come, but that's not really going to help your business unless you bring somebody. And so I see you and I love you, but you'd be a lot happier if you brought somebody, because I guarantee this, I know we're not supposed to guarantee, but I guarantee this, they're going to see something different. That I can guarantee. Whether it's Wade doing the presentation, Creel, or any of you other leaders who do amazing presentations, you know, they're going to see something different. So when I invite somebody over to a presentation, like I do regularly, like here in my local town now, with Scott Duffy pours his heart out. People just buy, they just sign on, they just, you know, want to be a part of that. And I brought them. So, you know, bring people to these events, because that's what's going to really change your business and move your business forward, and you'll be smiling like the rest of us because your people are going to sign on. Again, find your mentors in the Enagic community, or find your mentors on YouTube or whatnot. Go to your sponsor. You know what? Push your sponsor. Push me. If you're coming to me and I don't know how to answer that question, I really feed off of that, because you know what? I'm always trying to better myself, and I need to know so that I can share with you. Like if I'm trying to teach you the trifecta, if I don't know how to process the trifecta in the different variations, I'm learning. I'm not perfect. I'm always learning. I didn't know that you can't, you know, we can order online 2 machines at a time, but you can't order online 2 machines and an Ukon. The only way I knew about that is because our clients had to push me. They had to go, this is what I want to do, and here I was saying, hey, you can do this all online. I get to go online, I'm trying to process online. I find out you can't do a trifecta online. You have to do 2 machines first and then the Ukon. So that's what I mean about, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, go to your sponsor, because that'll push your sponsor as well. That'll push me. If I'm your sponsor, if Wade or Girl, it'll push us to be better, no matter what we're teaching, right? And surround yourself, I can't say this enough, surround yourself by winners, you know, people who want to grow, people who want to succeed, who just want to be better in all ways, because these guys that I'm looking at right here, and I don't know who's all on the call, but looking at these guys here, that's why I love being around them, because they push me, and they're winners. And you know, we have our turmoils every day, our ups and our downs, but you know what? They just know how to give me the advice, and they don't even know how much their little piece of word has changed my day, or changed my month, or changed my life. So I want to thank you guys for that. So that's what I just wanted to input to the team tonight.
Great stuff, and looks like we found the questions and answers. So, or questions, let's go to some answers. So I'm going to turn this over to you guys. I'll ask you the questions, and then maybe one of you guys can answer. So, hey guys. Thanks for this again. This is from Roger and Sabine Gadet. Question, your person you're prospecting isn't concerned about making more money, but you know if they got it, they would blow up this business. Any tips or key questions that we can ask them?
I think you got to find out what they are interested in.
Yeah.
So, and tie this project to them getting more of what they're interested in. So, do they want more health? Do they want to help people? Do they want to create a legacy? Do they want to make a feel-good project for, you know, the planet? So take the money out of it and find out, okay, what's this person's hot button? So I think you need to dig in a little bit more and really ask them, maybe even directly, like, well, what inspires you? You know, what gets you excited? Tell me more about what you see as, you know, what's your ideal project that you're looking for, and really go deeper there.
Can I help? Can I help answer that?
Please jump in.
So I'm thinking of a particular client, a good friend of mine as well in that position, and you know, I went to them, and I know that they have all the money in the world, and they could help so many people. They needed this product, or they didn't feel like it was the right time or whatever. You know what? I just went to them. I said, I respect you. I respect how you do business. I respect all your friends that you've introduced me to and that we've become so close to. Would you mind referring them to me? Would you mind telling them about what I do? And then I go in that way because now I've gotten permission. I say, I ask for help. People, successful people, people who may not know what they want or know what they want and don't want this or whatever, they want to help you if they're your friend. So those types, I just go in and I ask them, I need help here. I want to grow my business. I love doing what I do. I love helping people. I respect you. Would you mind referring me some people? Would you mind introducing to them or telling them about me and what I do and what I want to do? And then I go in that way. And then when I first get my sale, then I go back to them and go, hey, you know what? The person that you referred me, thank you so much. They got the information. They see what I was sharing, and they want to purchase the machine, or they want to sign up, or they want to join us. Would you want to get in as well? We can all do this as a team. I try to rally it up and anchor it. I guess that's what Danny calls it. It's anchoring. People who don't even know that they're going to be anchoring it. So I'm just thinking of my real case.
Yeah, great stuff, guys. And again, it all comes down to asking questions in a general and then a specific ways. And then again, sometimes just asking for help. I think that's a really good. And just so you know, I was turned off by the money side of the business when I started this. So I didn't want anything to do with that. I just liked the health part. And so, but the guys came around first circle, and then I saw how the finances changed people's lives, and I got excited about that. Actually, even as much or more than the technology. So amazing how things can turn over time, but you got to get that hook where they're at. Okay, same question. That we had the same question there. So let's look at. Here's someone. I need to work on my why. Suggestions for resources on that, please, guys. You guys got any go-tos on your why? I know Tony Robbins, his Awaken the Giant Within. It's an old book. It's about 20 years old, but he takes you through a process to really reconnect with your whys and your reasons. You fill out a lot of information. That's a really good one. Guys, do you have any go-tos?
I do. Go to your sponsor. Go to a dear friend. Go to a family member. Because sometimes your why might not be your why. It might be your mom's why, because maybe your parents are sick, or maybe they want a new home, So go to somebody you love and care. If you don't have a why, find out what their why. Maybe start helping other people's why, and then you'll get your why if you really don't know your why. So go to the people around you that you love and care about, and go to your sponsor. Come talk to me. Let's figure it out together. Okay, Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel, I would watch the Eric Sinek Why video, which is about 20 minutes long TED Talk.
Simon Sinek, isn't it? Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek.
And then book an appointment with me, and let's go 7 levels deep on your why, which is basically tracking 7 questions why deep, and we'll come up with something. So book me for this week.
That's a great one. Good job, Krill. And finding your why is really important, and then building it. And sometimes that why starts out very small, and that's okay. And in fact, what's interesting is a lot of the people who are mega successful in this industry started out with they wanted to make $500 a month, or they wanted to do this one little thing, and when they got that, they said, well, I could do that. Maybe I could do this next little thing, and then the next little thing, and the next little thing, and the next thing you know, they had this giant organization that changed people all around the world. So Eric Worre videos, Tony Robbins videos, there's YouTube videos, watch Jim Rohn videos. There's just tons of stuff on YouTube from inspirational speakers that kind of help reconnect you to that what I call that little kid that wasn't shut down and conditioned person, the person the dreamer. And boy, when you get access to that, Rachel, you can it's amazing what can transform in your life.
I see that there's a couple more questions, and I see the time's pressing on, so let me jump into a few here. Natasha asked, do you think the old Kirby door-to-door is a good way to share our awesome device? If you're willing to try it and get out there and do that, but I think it would take some time, and there'd be a learning curve, and you probably put in some uncomfortable positions. But hey, maybe that's the key for you. I can guarantee that you'd learn a lot about sales and interactions with people. That it might not be an effective way to sell our product, but it'll be an effective way to train you to become a better salesperson with our product, with your warmer market or people you're meeting in different terms.
Yep, absolutely.
There was another question from S. Peterson. I suggest we can pull up the 4 questions again, or this will be on YouTube within probably 24 to 48 hours, thanks to Kim. And you could go through the entire webinar again and watch it and pause it and get all the questions you need there. So I think
it's also, Scott, that's also in if you look at the GoPro book, it's the 4-question close by Eric Warre.
Can we get that on the screen? And then I just took a snapshot of it when you were doing it on my phone. So if you can get it on the screen, you can have it right now. There you go.
Can you see that? Can you see that, guys?
Take a picture of it. Yeah, just take a picture of that, and there you go. You can practice right after the call.
All right. So while we're doing that, you want to get to the other questions there.
Yep, there's a question from Donnie. There seems to be a thin line when navigating the health benefits of drinking the water. It seems like even saying there are health benefits to drinking the water is making some kind of medical claim. Where do you draw the line?
You know, that's a great question. And it comes down to this, that, you know, there's a lot of experts in the world that knows that hydration is of benefit. I think you can leverage the Shinya video, the medical doctor's video with Tim Knight and Dr. Filzer and Hiromi Shinya. It's on the pH Alliance website, and say, here's what some of the top doctors in the world are saying about this technology. And when you have a Harvard medical surgeon saying, I think this is a benefit to all mankind, when you have one of the top 10 gastroenterologists in the history of mankind saying, drinking Kangen water, I recommend it to all my clients. When you have a guy like Tim McKnight, PhD in nutrition and a medical doctor that was brought to Washington to the White House to help small communities get healthier, saying this is a benefit to everyone, that's all the credibility you need. And say, by the way, why don't you start drinking it and see what happens?
Yeah, good answer.
The question from Carla Johnson. Awesome training. How do I get back to the 1, 2, 3 system and share with my team? We have covered that in webinars, and so there will be recorded webinars of that if you want to go through our YouTube list, and they're all titled really clearly. So I would check there, Carla.
At prosperityandhealthalliance.com.
Mm-hmm.
And there you'll see a YouTube icon. Click on that YouTube icon, and that'll take you to all the videos.
Exactly. Natasha also asked if she could get the PowerPoint for this, Wade.
Yeah, the PowerPoint, of course, the video will be on there. If people want to use the PowerPoint, you can just email me at wadelightheart@gmail.com. And if I don't respond in 48 hours, send it again, because I get hundreds of emails and sometimes I miss them. So wadelightheart@gmail.com, and that'll get through.
Mm-hmm. And then would it be wise to use these webinars as a tool for people that are undecided, or are the webinars for distributors only? Go ahead, guys.
I think it's actually. I think if you've watched it and you like it and you feel that the person will resonate with the information that we're giving, then absolutely use this as a tool. And sometimes you don't know, so try it. So what's the topic? Depends on the topic, right? If it's like, for instance, the UConn, sometimes I have to refresh myself on what Antonina said all about the UConn, because I've got to do a UConn presentation for a group of doctors or anybody. I'll just go and play that one. Would I play it for them? Sure, absolutely. I can edify her, I can edify Wade, I can edify us as a team, what we're doing all around the world, and here's what we're teaching on it, and I have the PowerPoint right in front of me and I can give it to you. So again, if you know the tool that you have in front of you and the video that you're going to share with them and you feel that they're going to benefit from it, absolutely. That's why we're doing this. I have a teammate who have weekly meetings. Guess what the weekly meetings is? It's to watch these webinars with her team. Each one.
Yeah, and keep in mind that you just click on the YouTube link on the Prosperity and Health Alliance, and you can access all of these webinars and use them again with your teams. And lots of times they can also help you with the questions they might ask you if you don't know, and say, hey, but go through the webinars. Chances are we've answered that in one of them.
Mm-hmm. And Fern, how I would use it would be showing it as a support tool that's available for a new distributor coming on board, so you could really edify us, this group, the PH Alliance, and say, hey, when you join the business, you get all of this. This is like coaching for life, and so people are nervous about trying something new, so show them how much support, and you could go through the different webinars, and you may not watch them, but they're aware that that's available, and that could be really helpful.
Yeah. There's a question here from Maureen. Tell me more about ordering 2 machines online. Maureen, we talked last week. Great seeing you on the webinar. Can the prospect buy a second machine from himself and get a commission? Do we order them at the same time? How does that work? Seehaw, since you just did this, you want to answer that question?
Absolutely, yes. So yes, you can order 2 machines at the same time. So the first machine that you'll order, when you go and put in the information, it will not give you you will put your ID number as a sponsor. When you go to order, you put in cart number 1, say the SD501 or the K8, whatever it is. That's the first thing that the cart. The second item would be the NESPA. So you can order the NESPA, put that in the cart, and then you'll check out at the same time. So you'll be the sponsor, but then you'll add a note that the NESPA, that he is going to be the sponsor, and it requires a sponsor ID number. Now, I don't know for all the offices, but for the Seattle office, the temporary one that we use is 0009 for a new distributor who does not have an ID number yet. So you're going to have to verify that for a Vancouver office or for whatever office. I've only done this with the Washington, Seattle office. So that's what you would do. You put them in your cart. You place the orders. I always follow up the order with an email to the office. For you, California, I always follow up to the office, letting the office know that I've placed an order 2 at the same time, and this is the person's name, and this is the position I want them in, under what sponsor ID number, under what rank, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, whatever it is. And here's the second machine that they're ordering under their new name. They don't have an ID number yet. I've used the temporary 0009. Please call me back to verify. Because again, it's communication. So you're ordering it, it has to go to somebody, then you're emailing it. And for myself, I not only email, but I give them time in the middle of the day. If I put in my order, say at 10 a.m., by about 2 p.m., I'll call the office just to make sure that they've received everything and they understand how to do it, and I can explain. Because again, it's logistics, right? And it's just keeping the communication straight.
And that's part of being a professional, and you learn over time, and you just do the work. And you'll be surprised. And it also gives you an opportunity to build a relationship with your office that you're dealing with, and learn some of the people that work so hard at Enagic to keep everything flowing. And believe me, I think sometimes we don't shine enough light onto how hard those people work and what a great job they do for us. So very difficult position. So I guess that ends all our questions tonight. You guys have been an amazing crowd. It's great to have my 2 partners here on the call this evening. Mr. Kirill Hutchinson, Mr. Seehaw Top. You guys are amazing. You bring a lot of love, a lot of wisdom, and I feel really fortunate to be working with you. And for you guys joining us all around the world, I want to reach out to you and say, you're making a difference, and we really appreciate that. We love that you're working with us. We want you to leverage us as you learn this. Take the time to become a professional in this industry, and make sure that you've booked your tickets for the Enagic Convention, July 26th and 27th in Las Vegas. We want to take a picture with you. We want to hug you. We want to party with you. We want to share in the magic of Enagic at the convention. It's going to be amazing. We can't wait to see you here. We can't wait to see you there, and we can't wait to see you next Monday night. So without any further ado, guys, thanks so much for joining us at the Prosperity and Health Alliance. Go make it happen.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.